Good afternoon, everyone. Your Lee Gals are here. I'm Ilana. I have Jamila, Luby, Lisa, and Tanya with us. We are talking today about Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. So we're going to talk about what it is, what it means to us or doesn't mean. So Jamila, if you could let us know, what is Juneteenth? What is it?
I'd just like to point out that this is ironic that Jamila is talking about Juneteenth. She's the only not American born. No,
because give us the Wikipedia.
Were you born in America?
The Wikipedia definition.
Right.
I'm just going to tell you guys what Google.com said, because as Tanya said, I was not born here. So, Juneteenth is actually something that is newer to me. I was mentioning to the ladies before, I went to 2 historically Black college universities and, just learned a little bit. And I think now I'm learning a little bit more about it. It is a celebration of emancipation of the slaves. So it's celebrating that. And that is really and truly, let me say hi to our one person out there. Hello, we're talking about Juneteenth today. If you don't know what Juneteenth is, stick around and listen. If you do, feel free to drop
how you feel about it. Yeah.
Some comments. Yeah, feel free to.
How you feel about that.
So that's pretty much what I know. It may be shamed a little bit, but that's pretty much what I know about it. I know that yesterday it was declared a federal holiday. So that's a great thing, but I would love to hear what you ladies think about it. There's also the Juneteenth flag. And we were talking before about, we've seen a lot of different flags. I think that the colors that I've seen, and Tanya, correct me if I'm wrong, are red, green, and yellow, and some black in between.
Red, black, and green is, I think, is the predominant. Yeah, the Black Power. The Black Power.
So now that it's a federal holiday, this celebration of the emancipation of the slaves. Now, what do you guys think about that? What do you think about that, Tanya?
I think that now that it's a federal holiday, it might be more widely known and understood. You mentioned that you didn't go to schools in this country and first learned about, the holiday when you were in college. Well, I went to school in this country and I did, too. I learned about it for the first time in college. And I learned that just during our conversation before we went live that I went to a predominantly white college, a PWC. Is that what you guys call? But I learned that I'm not sure. Yeah, Lisa was like, "Well, I went to HBCU." Well, it was also taught in predominantly white colleges, and that's the first time I heard of it. So I think it's a great thing that children are going to learn, even by virtue of it being on their calendar, on the school calendar as a federal holiday, they're going to learn about it. And I think it's a long time coming. It should have been sooner, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Lisa looks like she's ready to. Come on, Lisa.
What do you have to say?
No.
So I'm going to be honest with y'all. I grew up celebrating Juneteenth all my life. So when I'm hearing you all say, "Oh, I didn't know about it," I'm like, but I get it. Okay,
I wasn't born here, so
I didn't celebrate it either.
Maybe that's a function of me being born up north. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh no, but it's okay. It's okay. Here's what my face is. I'm trying to contain my face because I'm like, when did we get a specific Juneteenth flag? And then it made me think about this post I saw today where now that it's a federal holiday, it's sort of like, oh, go ahead and just co-opt it. You know what I mean? And so I've seen school emblems with Juneteenth breaking the chains of slavery and all. And I'm like, because see, I've been taught with Juneteenth, this is just how I was taught. Emancipation Proclamation said that as of January 1st of 1863, the slaves were supposed to be freed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slaves out in Texas, Galveston, all those parts of Texas, those slave owners, those were pretty much like the Bible says, ain't nothing new under the sun, sort of still the same as, they would be today. And so they didn't let their slaves know. They did everything possible to keep that news from their slaves. So their slaves were not notified that slavery was over with until 1865. They kept they kept these people enslaved still. And so that's why, because if none of us are free, if some of us, none of us are free,
Mm-hmm.
I did go to an HBCU, the illustrious Tuskegee University, the pride of the Swiss growing South. And that was like sort of a standard. Of course, you typically weren't in school during that time unless you had summer school, but like there was the Juneteenth, discussions and the conversations and so forth and so on. To my family, Juneteenth means more than 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also grew up in near where was Ornell Hurston born? Eatonville.
Yeah.
Eatonville. Yeah. So yeah.
Absolutely. So that was a big deal to us. I don't know how I feel per se about this whole holiday, because like I said, I'm afraid they're going to Whole Foods this holiday. And when I say they, I mean society overall.
Well, I mean, we shouldn't feel like they're picking out Juneteenth to do that. They co-opt everything and do, I mean, look at Pride Month. Okay. These businesses that really have been silent on, LGBT rights are, they're flying their flag during Pride Month. Why? Because it's, it's a way to market and, make more money. So I think, no matter what holiday, same for Christmas, Easter,
I think it's still sort of like
the holiday.
But it's sort of like I know they do that with every holiday, but it's sort of like a dog in your neighborhood who poos on everybody else's grass. I still don't want him pooing on my grass. You know what I mean? So I was having this conversation with my significant other, and I was saying how they're going to co-opt it. They're going to turn this thing into, someone posted about how now it's going to be like, folks getting drunk with dashikis at the bar. And I'm like, that's true. That's like, exactly what's happened, right? And he made a good point. He was like,
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah. He was like, maybe, or Cinco de Mayo. That's what it was, Cinco de Mayo. And he was like, maybe it will give an opportunity for people who don't know it to read about it or to learn about it. But here's my concern. Tanya, Jamila, I don't know, Ilana, Luby, if you all heard of Juneteenth beforehand, but even then, look how it's sort of positioned in a, we're just celebrating freedom, not look how y'all sketchy asses held on to these slaves for an extra year and a half. You know what I mean? So I'm concerned about that. Is there going to be the truth in the story, or is it going to be the Thanksgiving, Pilgrim and Indian story that we're going to get?
Yeah. My understanding of it was just how you related, Lisa. I knew of Juneteenth. I can't recall where I learned of it or at what point in my life I learned about Juneteenth. But growing up, it was not a celebration. It was like, this is just, a day in history. This is what happened, right? Like, it wasn't a celebration of freedom. Now recently it's become that, I guess. And you saying you did it your whole life, you celebrated Juneteenth, but
it's like a family get together time, a family reunion time.
We didn't celebrate it, but everybody knew what it was. So now it's going to be now it's a federal holiday and it's going to be celebrated. But I agree with you. I think the background should be, the full story should be told, and it's not just an emancipation of the slaves, because they were emancipated well before that.
Yeah,
right,
exactly. Yeah.
So then you have the sin of keeping people as slaves, or the sin of enslaving people, and then the extra heaping of double sin of keeping people enslaved, even when your unjust laws rightfully freed them.
Well, right. that was the natural order and consequence of, the whole trade. I mean, it was economically, did you think they were going to let go easily? I mean, it meant a total change of life.
Oh,
you
I
know,
understand. It doesn't make it right. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying it make, but nobody expected them to let go so easily.
I don't know. I just sort of did. I did. I just and I'm just putting this up in my ancestors' back of their head. I just sort of felt like they would at least, let us go ahead and go on. We've given you quite some years, go ahead and let us go. But it is what it is. But it's also a day to keep in mind. I think it's also a day of strategy. I think it should be a day of strategy, especially for African Americans. I guess what they call, now ADOS, American descendants of slaves. I think it should be a time of strategy, because I think this is the sort of call to remind us that at the end of the day, we have to get our own understanding, get our own, learning, get our own, be aware and so forth, but for the Union soldiers coming, people wouldn't have known.
I'm going to let Luby chime in real quick and then wrap us up. I do think this being able to have the spotlight on it gives us the opportunity to speak our truth. And I think that's a good thing. But Luby, you haven't had an opportunity to really chime in. What are your perspective on this?
I guess like some of you just started learning about Juneteenth. I never learned about it while I was going to school. I didn't even learn it in college. It was just something I've heard over a few years. And then,
did you go to HCBU?
HBCU. I'm not gonna let you do this to me,
I did not. I attended
historically Black college or university.
I did not. I attended a PWI, predominantly white institution.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so we didn't. That's just. I didn't learn about that, and so my husband just chimed in. It's HBCU, okay?
HBCU. Historically
he
Black
attended. Yeah, he attended FAMU. So
okay,
we have a different.
Luby's going out, and we've missed where he attended. Where did he attend?
FAMU.
That's what he said. She said that.
So I think it's great that it's being recognized. I think it gives us an opportunity to do more research and to see what is this about, because the more people become aware, the more that you can actually have an honest conversation about why all of this is happening, what does this mean, and how long this has been going on. So I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, if nothing, it's
definitely also symbolic of that holdover, right? Because we still have remnants of that, and people who are still holding on to that time period, right? The old South, the South will rise again, some people say, and so they're still holding. Look at Jamila's face, like, I hope not. But that's the South will rise again. That's what some people say. So, I agree with Luby that this is it will make for some good conversation. Hopefully those conversations will be had.
Yeah. Well, I do hope that it does rise again as a more unified South.
Well, not the old South. No, not the old South at all, Tanya. No. The South doesn't need to rise at all. It needs to stay where it is, underground.
Oh my goodness!
I think it honestly means that we are taking a step in the right direction. We're not going to be complacent. We're not going to be pacified with the fact that it's being acknowledged. Still fighting for what, equal, just what we've been fighting for. And it's just saying, okay, this is good, but this is not all that we want. So I think it's great for conversation.
Right. Juneteenth is not an entree. Like, we would love an extra side, an extra helping of voting rights, not being shot and killed,
No, not even an extra. See, Juneteenth is the appetizer. We still waiting for the entree and all the sides. Thank you for the entree.
That's right.
For free.
What I would like to say before we close, because I think we might be out of time, is that not only should we be thankful for this acknowledgement? I mean, some people say, I'm not thanking them. It took too long. I'm thankful for it. And I just hope that everyone, does what they can every day of the year, to progress our condition in this country. just help a friend, give in your community, just sow in your community and move us forward, help to move us forward. That's all I have to say. Thank you, ladies.
All right. Take care, y'all.
We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for joining.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.